Come on. Okay, it's live. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Woke Wednesday. Today, I am going back to kind of where we started with the red pill stuff. We've got Taylor the Fiend, we have Hadon the Mummy, and we have Locke the Bounty Hunter. So we'll be going over all their latest stuff.
I said some of the Fiend gang because I don't know if you can get to all three.
Yeah, whatever we can get to.
You should be able to.
Yeah, I should, and then I've got two of Taylor because he's got two channels, but we'll probably just get to one.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same kind of stuff.
It is, yeah. Okay, so let me mute and let's get on with this.
Well, the red flag is that he ghosted me. Love that. And I'm like, I'm a for the plot dater, okay? Like, first, second date, I'm like, the worst that could happen is it's a funny story. And I genuinely do love dating. Like, I think it's really fun. And I've had so many, like, funny stories from it, right?
Liar, liar, liar.
But I'm like, how am I supposed to date for the plot if my date ghosts me?
That's a mystery.
Well, that's your problem right there. This concept of dating for the plot is one of the most self-indulgent and asinine things that you can do. Just proves that you're assuming that these dates will ultimately fail and you're just looking for funny stories to tell because you have no other way to entertain yourself in life. You act as if it's just one gigantic movie where you're the belle of the ball and you're just waiting for your Prince Charming to give you a crystal shoe that's worth $10,000 on the open market. And odds are, if this guy saw that, that's why he ghosted you. Either that or he had really important things to do, like go to his garage and sort through his crates of VHS tapes to see if there's any worth selling on eBay.
And I'm like, I'm no stranger. Like, I've been ghosted before. Like, it doesn't happen that often, but
Liar, liar, liar.
But like, it is like a hit to the ego, if anything. And it's like when you are like actively dating, like you're gonna get ghosted. Like, that's just how it works, especially if you're on Hinge. I understand that. But I was actually looking forward to this date, and I could not tell you the last time that I was like genuinely excited to like hang out with somebody. And that's what sucks about it, is because I was like, oh my God, damn, like we didn't even have like the opportunity, like he didn't even have the opportunity to reject me in person. Like it had to be before. I'm so annoyed.
You serious?
No, it kind of sucks that I have to be the one to tell you this, but you have no right to be annoyed. This guy clearly didn't feel like rejecting you in person because it wasn't worth it. He already knew he was in for 2.5 hours of unnecessary brain pain, so he decided to forego all of the formalities and just ghost you ahead of time. It's just something that happens way more often than you'll ever admit. Men were not put on this earth to make your life interesting. I mean, you said it yourself. You're actively dating, and yet despite all of these dates, you've only been looking forward to one of them, which means that you've not only been ghosted multiple times, you're also just a horrible date altogether, which means that the plot of your life is so horrible that nobody wants to be a part of it.
I know it. Your family knows it. Dogs know it.
Nothing humbles a man more than realizing the woman he took for granted is still the woman that everybody wants. He thought that by walking away, all of a sudden, it would make you undesirable. If anything, it just made you unattainable to him, because so often access breeds entitlement. He thought that he was entitled to a woman like you because you never left his side, because you were that ride or die, when actually it was a privilege for him to even have access to you until that access is taken away. But even then, that's not what kills him.
I really don't see how this is humbling a man. If If a man decides to leave a woman, he has his reasons and ultimately decided that whoever you are, regardless of your imagined desirability, you just weren't right for him. Most of the men that you desire will just ditch you and not look back. And he really couldn't care less if other men find you desirable. He didn't take you for granted. It was actually the other way around. He got tired of you being entitled to him simply because you're lonely and his bed was open. It was disturbing his peace, and that's the one thing he wasn't willing to sacrifice. And your only recourse is to cope by saying that other men want you, which is something nobody really cares about.
That's not what brings him to his knees. What actually cuts like a knife Bryan Adams is watching another man give you the very thing he said he couldn't. Perfect example of this is Justin Bieber. Justin didn't crash out when Selena was quite literally fighting for her life. He started to crash out when the weapons formed against her were unable to prosper, when she was able to rise without him. It's not that you moved on, it's the fact that somebody else saw you as worthwhile and stepped up, and that you were able to build a life that was even better than the one that he had with you.
Oh, really?
No, I really don't think it's a smart idea that the basis of your argument is celebrity gossip and a lyric from a Bryan Adams song. Now, don't get me wrong, my opinion on Justin Bieber has softened over the years. I still don't like his music, but this guy was pretty much used in some of the most unspeakable ways imaginable. This was a guy who was literally physically violated on national television, and the person who violated him was celebrated for being a cougar while everybody laughed at him. Now, say what you want about the guy, but in my opinion, that's more screwed up in several different ways. And the fact that you're taking this guy who's completely destroyed as a teenager and using it to prove your argument with supermarket tabloids as your evidence just proves that you know next to nothing about people.
That's what actually breaks him, because now he gets to watch another man honor the same woman he overlooked and disrespected. So when a man says to you, I don't think I can give you what you need, what he's also telling you is, I'm not willing to grow. I'm not willing to become the man that can keep a woman like you. But when you finally stop arguing, when you stop trying to convince him of your worth, and you leave that avoidant man alone for the last time, the moment you stop crying, that's the moment he starts.
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Okay, so in other words, you're literally celebrating a man's emotional heartache, and that is insanely messed up. You like to think that when a man leaves you, you will get the ultimate revenge against this guy by thinking because you were able to fool another guy into wanting to be with you, while also masking your obvious emotional damage, that somehow means you've won. The only person who's made this into a massive battlefield is you. So why do you think men are walking away from this battle? It's because men have enough problems without having their minds and bodies and spirits maimed by the likes of you.
You're cool. You, I'm out.
If you are in no contact because your ex broke up with you, why do you think it's your job to reach out? What excuse are you using this time to justify betraying yourself? They know they hurt you and they know where to find you. Do you not think if they wanted to, they would? You're knocking on a door that they intentionally closed and then re-traumatizing yourself every time they reject you. They initiated leaving you, which means they didn't want you. So what else?
Yes, one thing I have to say with these people that are going back and forth with their exes, I was at that point. Mine would dump me, go screw around, come back, and I had such low self-esteem that I would take her back every time until I met my now wife that has amazingly done all the work to help me.
It was incredible to see you make that first step, though.
Yeah.
Like, I will never forget that, because I'd already seen you personally go through that, like, twice. And then to be like, yeah, she wants to get back together, and I'm like, well, what are you going to do about it? And you're like, well, I'm done with it. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. And then, like, weeks went by, and you were still, like, solo,
Yeah.
So it was like just taking that initiative. That was like something, that was really good.
Well, it's like I was so stressed that I would have like been one of the ones to take a gun somewhere and shoot people.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so wound up and so tight. It wasn't even funny. I mean, that would have happened.
And I think that's why even still I'm so antagonistic towards you, because I know you have to learn to like verbalize this stuff. You have to learn to take accountability for this stuff. You need to be able to not just be so stoic. You need to be able to like set your boundaries and speak about the things that matter. You know, you don't have to speak about everything, but reserve your words for those things that matter.
Exactly.
And I
You
think
do.
that was kind of how it was all the way in the beginning, because it was like you were so quiet, so stoic, and like I said, so bound up that it was scary.
Yeah, and so like sulky too.
Yeah. And it wasn't until you were free of her that was started. You would start to work on that.
And even that, I mean, a lot more of that. Not even just her, but it comes down to my mom too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's always the root of it, or most often the root of it. It's like the first woman that you're introduced to.
Yeah.
So she sets the tone of what you'll accept and what you're looking for from a very early age.
Exactly.
And since she was so not like me, and that was like a void in your life, and you ended up getting together with me, who was extremely opinionated, and you know, you have to do things for this reason. You have to take, you know, like it was really strong. So you were seeking to compensate that.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's been a big ordeal and a big change every single day.
Else do you have to say? Reaching out is going to make them resent you because you're not respecting their space and you're begging someone to reconsider your value and forcing your presence, which makes you undesirable and leaves no room for regret.
I can see behind your shirt.
Well, the answer to that question is fairly simple there, sweet cheeks. The reason why modern women break no contact is because they have a profoundly low sense of self-worth. They measure their lives based on the emotional support that other people give them, especially when it comes to modern relationships. You always want more of Mr. Chad's wild ride, especially when he's finally kicked you out of his proverbial car, and it leaves you empty and unfulfilled. You always want more because you measure your self-worth based on how much you can get this man to want you, even though he's clearly never wanted you in the first place.
You should never have to convince someone to love you. And the real question is, why do you not respect yourself? They do not deserve you, and you do not deserve the pain that you're self-inducing. Contact makes you feel connected, but it makes them feel suffocated. Why do you think they ignore you or they take hours to respond? It's because you're an inconvenience, which then prolongs your own pain because you keep getting disappointed. They're not crying, they're having fun doing fuck knows what, and you're enabling their behavior because there's no real consequences for their actions. Why would they choose you?
The English language.
Yes, as Nefer was just saying, it's like this woman really needs to learn how to speak better and proper with how she says it. I mean, she's got some good points and some good things, but then when you talk like that, it's
just
completely null and void.
The whole mannerism of it, and then cussing and
Yeah,
everything, and not to
for
mention
sure.
the whole accent that she has going there is basically like I said, like our version of the ghetto talk.
Yeah, it
You know,
is.
it's called Cockney, and it's like a low rent version of the British accent. And it's like, slow it down.
Yes.
Speak, don't cuss. You know.
Exactly right.
Like a lot of guys turn you up at that tone, you know.
Yeah. And I think that's part of her problem is the way that she speaks. A lot of guys
guarantee it.
get turned down by.
Guarantee it.
You if you're too weak to walk away. I know you're in pain and I know you love them. All you want to do is seek comfort in the same person that hurt you.
Wow, that's fantastic work, man. You have the wisdom of a 6,000 or 7,000-year-old man. That's fantastic. We don't have to fill up the whole blackboard after all.
Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but I don't think it's a smart idea to be commenting on this dude's consequences of their actions when you're the one who's made the terrible decisions. Now, I'm not about to endorse the mistreatment of anybody, but there comes a point where you have to look in the mirror and try to understand that you made some terrible decisions when it comes to what man you let into your life. If you do that, then you'll have no way of applying your 6.5 tons of makeup while complaining about relationships.
But you need to learn to control your emotions.
Not scientifically possible!
Because it's not your responsibility to do the pursuing, especially when they thought their life would be so much better without you. You are helping them detach and let go if you do not leave them alone, because the perception they have of you is the one you're currently building, which is someone that is desperate, needy, and emotionally unstable, and someone that cannot live without them. You have the strength to get over this if you are just willing to try, because sacrificing your entire being for the sake of someone else is not worth it.
Speak for yourself, moron. Oh my god, that is funny!
We have seen countless testimonials that prove telling a modern woman to learn how to control her emotions is like telling a pyromaniac to stop burning down municipal offices. Your intentions might be in the right place, but it's pretty much a fool's errand. Modern women have been repeatedly told for decades that even though they may fly off the handle and act as immature as they want, they're still emotionally mature and the rest of the planet needs to become more emotionally intelligent to suit them. But that's kind of impossible. You'd have better luck getting into a headbutting competition with a T-800 Terminator and winning long before you can convince a modern woman to control her emotions.
That's funny because it's so true.
If I'm ever going to date a man again, God forbid, this is the list of requirements I'm going to need from them.
What's wrong with your face?
I'm so serious. I'm literally not joking. I'm serious. I'm going to need to see 2 valid forms of identification, okay? You got a driver's license, a birth certificate, a passport, an ID. Hand them over. I need to see at least 2 of them. Next is a full background check. I'm going to need you to show me your entire criminal history, what your mom's name is, your dad's name, your sibling's name, and every prior address that you have ever lived at. And no, I'm not paying for it. Third is a drug test.
Okay, this woman's just getting ready to say, oh, and third is a drug test. And it's like, I want all these things because I need to make sure that you are who you say you are. But then you have her who is, you know, I mean, obviously she's very woke. She's got the nose ring. I mean, I'm impressed her hair is actually a normal color because normally they're a different color, like red or whatever. So
Purple and blue seem to be
the main ones.
So crazy.
Green too.
Yeah, that's true. But the purple and the blue is like iconic for that crap now because even the old ladies will wear it.
Yes.
Like I used to love my purple hair, but like it's
yeah, but now it's not the same
so
thing.
Different. I don't
it means way different now.
I swear. But yeah, what is she going to bring to the table?
Exactly.
And if God forbid she gets pregnant and the guy wants a DNA test, is she going to abide by that?
No, she won't do any of that.
Because that's, well, where's the trust? Right?
Yeah, where's the trust? But you didn't have trust in me.
Right, she just had all these requirements.
See, so it's like she's picked the wrong guy like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, now she's got to cover her bases.
Yeah, now she's trying to cover her fault, not the guy's fault. She's trying to cover her own fault and screw the guy over.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
I don't need you to get your blood drawn or anything like that. It can be from like the drugstore or the dollar store or something. But I'm going to need to see what's in your system, sir. I don't really care about occasionally. If it's a problem, then absolutely not.
It's scary.
All right, well, fair enough, but you can play at that game. If any man should date you, then you need to be able to provide a comprehensive list of bedroom partners. You're also going to need to provide dates and times of your hookups, as well as the locations. You're also going to need to provide the title deed to your car, the lease agreement to your apartment, as well as a notarized statement of intent as to what you expect from this guy. You're also going to have to go and buy yourself some neodymium magnets and hold them in front of your face for a minimum of 10 minutes to see what that happens. And no, you can't use refrigerator magnets as a replacement. They have to be top-tier powerful ones, and no, I'm not paying for them.
But anything beyond that, please don't let the door hit you on your way out. Goodbye. Next, I'm going to need to see proof of income. I'm so serious about this. This is so not a joke. I'm not playing around. I'm going to need to see proof of income. Not because I'm materialistic or that I have some dollar amount set aside and I need you to pay for anything. I got myself. I pay all my own bills. I don't need you. But I do need to see that you give a fuck about working and making money and paying your own bills before I agree to get into a relationship with you. Side note, you will be paying on the first date because every single time that a man has made me pay on a first date, it has gone horribly wrong. Huge red flag. After that, I'll go 50-50 with you. I have no problem doing that.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
But first date, that one's on you. If you want to take me out, if you want to take me on a date, why am I paying?
Give me some money. Give me some money.
Listen, there's no sense in trying to kid anybody here. You've got to head for a pincushion, and we all know that you're never going to date a man again. Even the men who would find your body augmentations to be attractive aren't going to either because you're effectively punishing them. You've dated some horrible men, but it's not the responsibility of single dudes to make you feel safe and to pay for the sins of the men who ruined you. You've apparently dated yourself a slew of drug addicts, deadbeats, and garage band bassists who are sure their big break is just around the corner. But much like the dreams of diarrhea milkshake, they're just about as delusional as your demands.
Why would I be paying for it? Next, if you have sisters or your mom is in your life, I'm going to need to have a conversation with them. Not like an in-depth conversation, but I just need to know. I just need to know where you stand with them. And lastly, but only last because I can't think of anything right now, I probably will after this video, I am going to need literal references from your ex-girlfriends. Do you know the amount of times I have had my ex-boyfriends hide their ex-girlfriends from me so that I wouldn't be able to contact them because they knew that if I did contact them, they would tell them that they were
This woman is completely controlling. I mean, that is beyond what you where you should be and what you should be doing.
Those are sorts of things that get disclosed over time through normal dating, if they should ever be disclosed. Because I mean, like sometimes people have really traumatic pasts.
Yes.
That they just don't want to bring up because, as they would say, would be triggering.
I know.
Really?
So yeah, I mean that's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if these are real or not, but I tend to think that they are, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
they were a shitty person. I will be speaking to your ex-girlfriends. If you try to hide them from me, huge red flag where I don't want to go any further with you. If you're a man and you think that any of this is unreasonable, I genuinely have nothing to say to you. I have nothing to say to you.
All right.
Really don't think you can sit there with all of your psychological baggage and metal stuck to your face and act like you're the emotionally superior one. Now, I get it. Sometimes we go through bad relationships, but you're obviously telling men that you have trust issues, that you're cheap, and even if these guys did all of these things, for reasons that make sense to exactly nobody, you'll still find a reason to not only dump him, but also blame him for your terrible life decisions. Now, we are not responsible for your ex-boyfriends, and we won't play this stupid game. And deep down, you know this, but you'll deny it as you go to your next appointment to waste money as you figure out a way to get yet another hole pierced through your septum.
Emotional damage.
I have a question. Is anyone dating anymore? I feel like I'm certainly not, and a lot of my single girlfriends aren't. And I say that meaning like they just don't feel like it. Their interests are elsewhere. It's like focusing on career or traveling, hanging out with girlfriends. Like we're single and we're in our early 30s. Like I'm 31 and maybe we should be more concerned, but we're just like, I don't care anymore. Curious if this is like a broader phenomenon or is it just like my circle or is this time of year? I don't know. I just wanted to pose this question. It's crazy and kind of great. I'm not gonna lie.
Liar, liar, your pants on fire.
Well, if it's so great that nobody is dating you, then why are you asking why people aren't dating anymore? Now, you've just answered your question. You're over the age of 30, so you've aged out of the dating pool. And if you're still single at your age, then there's an obvious reason why. Now, whether it's because of Chad chasing, Tyrone tumbling, or the fine art of pookie pokery, it doesn't really matter. The sheer entitlement modern women harbor towards the proud members of the illustrious Bottom 95% Club isn't going to fare well with you and your single girl besties. But go ahead and dilute yourself into thinking that you're happy, sister. You're about as happy as a modern woman on antidepressants and 2 monthly sessions of therapy. And if that's your goal in life, then mission friggin' accomplished. Just want to take a moment and say thank you to the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon for the support of my work as I continue to get content to you guys every single day of the week. And it just warms my heart to know that I have all sorts of support from you guys, and I cannot thank you enough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, with Locke, I love his content, love what he does. I want to give a shout out to him because he's almost at 20,000 subscribers, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're about to do Hadan, who already just hit his 20,000, and Locke did a whole special on him and stuff. I don't have it today, but it's there.
Go check it out.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a really funny little story and
yeah,
congratulatory thing from some of the people that they use for their content and everything.
Really, I mean, this whole trio hit Hadan, Locke, and
Taylor.
are all amazing with what they do.
I used to watch The Work the Detective as well.
I know he's gone though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I know he had a unique voice.
He did, yeah, he was good too.
They all do. Right?
And then there was the samurai one.
Yeah, he didn't last very long.
No. But I mean, he still was good.
Yeah.
With his content. So hopefully they'll find a couple more that, you know.
Yeah.
You can hear me, right?
Let me see. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I don't want to be doing this and then.
Hold on a second. You probably need to turn up, not the thing on the floor.
Okay. How do I turn it up? I don't know which way is up.
Well, where the little bead goes, you go to where the band is wider.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. Okay. Turned it up. Learning new things every day. Just catching myself up here. All right, so like I said, we're gonna go on to Hadan. He's talking about another really great guy. And congratulations to him too. I'm already gonna say it. You know, and 20,000. That's amazing. You know, maybe someday I can hit that, but you know, one day at a time.
I think we'll get there though.
Enough. All hail! Interested in supporting the channel, check out the bounty board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. And if you're finding my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you go on down and click that like and subscribe button and ring the notification bell so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.
Does anyone else just feel like really lost in life right now? Like no matter what relationship you get into, what job you work, where you move, you don't feel like you fit anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, feminism's consequences are bearing its disgusting, slobbery, stinky fruit, and I'm here to enjoy the ride. Gents, what can I tell you? But welcome back to the channel. I'm going to ask you to play the violin, join this woman in this very sad moment in her car, and we have more women in cars for later, guys. We have also rated articles, and we're going to talk a bit about dating and how has it come to suck so much, all right? But let's go back to this woman that has been probably indoctrinated, probably following the path that many women have taken, and now she regrets her choices. So let's go back to her.
You don't belong in anything. I used to hang out with my friends and genuinely feel like I belonged. I used to love my job and feel so passionate about it. I used to genuinely feel like I had purpose in life and I saw colors in everything. And I don't know if it's just that I'm getting older and life kind of loses its sparkle, but it just feels like everyone else has good things happening for them and things they're excited about and they have purpose and direction, and I'm just floating. And it makes me wonder if I'm ever gonna figure it out, or if some people just never do. You know, what if I'm someone who just doesn't have a soulmate? What if I'm someone who doesn't have a real purpose? Is it normal to feel this lost?
Well, I don't know about normal, but it's common, right? It's the situation that most people find themselves in, and it's philosophies like focus yourself first, self-love, that have led to this place of everybody just feeling cold, feeling distrustful, feeling hurt, you know. But gentlemen, we'll talk more about that as we continue with our videos. Now let's go to our second woman in a car, and let me know what you think about this whole thing.
A minute ago. I'm going on a date tonight. And I'm supposed to meet him at the restaurant a minute ago. I get to my car and my car won't start. So I texted him and he said he could come pick me up. And usually I don't let men pick me up, but I'm gonna need somebody to help jump my car. So I'm waiting for him. He's on his way.
You guys, he literally left me here.
You just saw, man's left me. He drove me, picked me all the way up. He drove me all the way to the bar, and then he ordered a drink and he drank the whole drink, and then he went to the bathroom and never came back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's just how flat out bad she is. It's
bad attitude.
Yeah, I mean, just
probably complaining like crazy. Who knows?
well, I mean, just this little tiny snippet that we heard, I can tell.
Yeah.
You know, she's got the bleach blonde hair.
Yeah. I guess the other thing that could be happening is like jaded guys that have had this sort of stuff happen to them so often, and it was just like literally like just like get you before you can get me sort of thing.
It could be.
You could have been doing it maliciously, but more than likely she was just like insufferable.
No, I mean, she's just sounding by the sound of her voice.
Entitled.
She sounds like that. I mean, it's
like, yeah, once again, my car has been broken down. And
I know
it's like
he paid for gas for her because her car broke down, so he drove her.
Yeah, but he left you there too.
But then she wanted him to buy the drinks and to buy the food.
Right.
So he figured you can pay for a little bit and left her there.
Yeah.
To pay for it.
And if she is a strong, independent woman, there should be a problem. She should have her own money, right?
Exactly. There should be no issue.
There you go.
Yep.
Not much to say. Honestly, it was either him or me. I was gonna do it. I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna pay for my own drinks. I was gonna pay for them. But yeah, so he not only did he order a drink the whole drink, and then leave and not pay for the drink, he also left me stranded. He left me knowing it because my car hadn't started, so he picked me up, right? He knew that I was stranded. And I've been blocked.
So what the hell?
All right. She was just ending that with, and I was blocked. He left me. It's like, okay, there's a lot more that we're not hearing
here.
here.
People don't just do that. That's
No.
a hell of a lot of effort to put into doing something like that if you're going to do it maliciously. You know?
Exactly. She wants to make him look like the bad guy, when in reality, who knows what was said, what she did.
I am skeptical, for sure.
Yes, and we don't know. I mean, did she say this is the first time that she's met this guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I was going to say, maybe she'd done it before to him or something. You know,
What was that? It was either going to be him or me thing.
Exactly. Well, no. I was going to pay for my drink. This is a liar right there. It's a big fat liar.
Yeah, like what the hell?
You know, dang well she was going to just leave it to him
Yeah.
to pick up the tab.
From everything already, which is fine, expected. But yeah, so that was my very first date of 2024, and that will be the last. Yeah, I just don't. Also, can we talk about how he's a therapist? He's a therapist, so ladies, watch the fuck out if he's your therapist. If you're in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, he's probably telling some other woman how she should self-heal and focus on her healing journey. But my hell, guys, you know what? I don't even blame this guy. I mean, she herself mentioned it was either him or I that was going to leave. So you'd probably understood midday that he's not going to go anywhere with this woman. And you know what? I wouldn't even be mad, you know? You'd just cut his losses. Don't have the time, don't have the resources. You pay for the drink. I mean, he paid for your gas there, you know? He paid gas to go to where you were, to pick you up and then take it to the restaurant. So, hey, drinks on you, you know? Not even mad at this guy. Gentlemen, cut your losses. We don't have the time or the money to be spending it on women who are there for the free meal. So, hey, but yeah, just another instance where you see dating being sort of predatory. The woman just wants what she wants, and it's mostly food and resources. The guy just mostly wants S3X. Now, there are men who also want relationships. This woman can provide either, so goodbye. But now, guys, let's move on to our last one, and let's cover this woman.
Not that they look.
Not looking like the brightest one, okay? We have the pig piercing, lip filler, tons of makeup, fake hair, probably like 15 operations done on her face. She has the chest tattoo. Ampu, can I get a confirmation on that one? Yep, there you go. And we also have hand tattoos, just all over her arm.
I'm raising my standards. Here are types of men that I will never, ever, ever, ever date ever again. Number one is
Keyword again.
Yeah, but I was just talking. It's like she's got the trifecta. She's got the nose piercing, the tattoos, and what?
The colored hair.
The colored hair.
It still is a somewhat natural color, but you can tell that it has been.
Yeah, it's more gray white.
Yeah. Like the actual Triple Crown winner, though, they have like that, pink.
Yeah, exactly. What we were talking about earlier.
Green, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate Triple Crown winner right there. But
For sure.
You got a pretty good trifecta going with any of it. It's like even if
Damn
it is
right.
a natural color, it's like, oh god.
I mean, what's the dang necklace too?
Okay, let me take a look. Okay, this is in a loose way supposed to represent the divine feminine.
Yep.
Yeah.
New age.
Yeah. Which like it makes me so mad because there is so much truth to that, to the crystals, to healing, to
Yes,
like,
but
manifestation.
these women ruin it.
They do, and they make me so mad because now these guys have like turned their back on that. And I'm like, that's faith. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
There was a lady, I think it was also on Hidon's, and she was talking about like, well, as a woman, you are a healing presence in his life. It's like we protect you with prayer and all this shit. And it was like everything that she said, it's like absolutely true. The way she looked and how she said it.
How she presented herself was
made it look like frou new age bull crap.
Yes.
And he turned all away from it. And it's like, it's true though. Like, but
Yeah.
you have to train yourself for it. It's like
You do.
You can't just. I made a TikTok today talking about they just did like text, like how women are born diamonds.
Yeah.
But they have no value until they've been refined, shaped, and they have raw value.
Yeah.
But if you have a raw diamond, you're gonna put it up on a shelf or behind glass, completely untouchable, not part of this world. If you become a nice cut, shiny, polished diamond, you're going to represent fidelity and something that lasts.
Yes.
And you're gonna have much more value, So it's like, yeah, you can be a diamond, but what kind of diamond are you going to be?
Exactly. Are you going to make yourself up, or are you just
Or
going
you're
to
just
be
gonna
the
sit
pretty
there,
fake thing that?
Behind glass that nobody can touch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
It's like that's fine if you choose that, but just don't try to teach other people to do that.
I know. That's exactly right.
It's like, so yeah, women can be healing and they can be peaceful, but you have to train yourself to do it. I'm still learning. And I learned from an ancient text. Nobody in my family taught me that.
No, you learned all by yourself.
I had to go back and listen to what the ancestors wrote, and then I cross-checked that with what other ancestors
Yes.
wrote. And I'm like, this is what it means to be a good wife. This is what it means to be a good mother.
Yep, and then you had to show me for the guy side because I wasn't taught what to do.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so perhaps parents, grandparents, or whatever, they didn't teach us anything. But at least we know our ancient ancestors. At least they wrote that shit down so that we could find it again.
Yeah, so that you would know.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Write everything down,
Yes.
And we'll have a resurgence of it.
Exactly.
As the fashion guy, I just know if your outfit is that good, you are manipulative as fuck. Like, you look good and you know you look good, and men should never know that they look good. Stop that. Number 2 is the soft boy. I know what you are. You don't want a girlfriend. Older man, bro. Like, I can justify the behavior between the two of us because I have daddy issues. What's your excuse? You have unborn daughter issues? What the hell? Also, why do all of you insist on beating me? Oh my god. Every older man that I've ever been with is like, you know what? You're not my father. Stop hitting me. Third strap intermission.
Every older man that I've dated with, well, that covers about 50% of the.
Also, why do all of you insist on beating me? Oh my god. Every older man that I've ever been with is like, you know what? You're not my father. Stop hitting me. Thirst trap intermission.
Every older man that I've dated with, well, that covers about 50% of the older men in her area.
Because I can't deal with the trauma. Yeah. Any boy that lives in LA County, all of it, the entirety of LA County, you're wicked. You are beyond evil. There is something sinister and you need therapy. There is something so wrong with you.
She's been with all of them.
I mean, all of them. What the hell? This one is embarrassing to even say, and I have nobody to blame but myself for this. Frat boys. Help. God forbid a white boy catch a vibe. I tried it one time and I was like, oh.
All right. She brings up, frat boys, and she's talked about all these other type of guys. And what she's really looking for is a bang session.
Yeah.
She wants somebody just to.
But she won't admit that. You
No.
know, it's a totally different story there. It's like, well, it's why are they treating me like an object? Why are you objectifying yourself?
Exactly.
You know?
She is. She flat out is. It's like, yeah, she's got daddy issues. You can tell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't doing this live, I would say find the Will Ferrell thing. How do I stop
From happening.
with Kevin Hart?
I'll clip it and I'll put that in there for you.
Okay.
Oh my god, yes! Maybe this time. Maybe it's time to take your head out of your ass. Any guy that plays anything in a band, he could even be like the band manager. It's really fun until it isn't, but I know that it's a problem when I start to feel like Miss Girl Supreme from that Blondie song. No, never again. This is where.
Wow, we have the public toilet over here, guys. Holy crap. Probably the most visited toilet in China has seen less bananas than this woman. My hell. Absolute red flag. She's sort of attractive, you know. Nice knockers. You can see why a lot of men will smash her, but wow, yeah, that's as far as it goes. Not me, though. I don't want to catch 5 STDs. But gentlemen, let's go back to something a bit more meaningful than your average 304 that is beyond commentary. Let's go back to this one, all right? Very sad, you can see by her face. And I remember this conversation I was having with a woman that is now in her 40s. And, we won't say much about her, but she told me, when I was younger, I just recently found out, she told me that when I was younger, there were a lot of guys actually into me, but I hadn't figured that out because I was too invested in, building up my future, studies, athletics, and all that. And she told me, if I knew how many men were attracted to me back then, probably my whole personality will change around, right? Which is a very valid point, gentlemen, and it is that these women's whole personalities change due to the amount of attention they have. Okay, now I sort of understand it. If I was a hot bimbo, I'd probably my personality will be changed by that. We can see this happening with chads as well because they are very attractive, and every woman is like, "Please impregnate me." Their personality sort of also changes. They become more materialistic, more superficial. They just want to bang women without commitment. Most chads are like this. So I will understand why most women, given the attention that they have, turn into these soulless goals that don't value anything, that don't look at your personality or any sort of traits, that are just superficial. My damn fucking voice, what is happening? So I get it, but at the same.
It's funny, like my damn voice. It's like it's these clips. It's these people.
Yeah.
They drain you, and they'll take everything from you.
This is just watching the demonic activity.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being around that?
No.
What kind of literal soul-sucking feeling you would have?
Exactly.
girlfriends that I had, you know, like
Mhm.
that said that they were my friend and I never really mutually benefited on anything from it. Like, I think the closest one I ever had was Kimberly because she didn't dump shit like this on me all the time. So we used to just
Exactly. So
have
you just had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody else, it was like constant trauma dumping, constantly.
Yeah.
And I felt so wretched afterwards. I felt bitchy myself. I felt really tired. I felt sick to my stomach. I felt weirded out sometimes. Like,
Yes.
icky. Like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, we just talked about stuff that you're not supposed to talk about. And
Then your mother didn't help that at the end.
yeah, no,
either.
it's like the same kind of thing, you know. And I got that way with her too. She was so open about stuff sometimes
Mhm.
that again, it just felt so icky. You know, I
Yeah.
hate using that word.
Wasn't
but it's
right.
just like just like I get chills, you know. And it's
I
like,
know.
it's like we're not supposed to be talking about that. There's supposed to be some boundaries.
And
it was
there
just-
wasn't.
It just made me so tired.
Of course.
And so I can't imagine if you're a male that is supposed to be complimentary with this energy, what that kind of stuff does to you. You know,
Oh
like,
God,
it-
just drain you.
no peace, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be. It's like.
And I mean, they cover this all the time.
I can't.
This is all they do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
Okay.
glad that I can go to this every now and again when I want to.
Right.
But for the most part, you know, we do the wokeness.
I
And I
mean-
mean, that's bad enough.
They led us on the path to finding this out because
Yes.
everything comes down to the women. They're the
Exactly.
root of it. If you look at the progressive churches and everything, 90% of the time they're run by women.
Yep.
You know, whether it's your mother, your sister, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever, it's like women are the root of all of the world's problems right now.
Exactly.
You know,
And I mean,
it's like-
if you watch a lot of the Bows, a lot of the Nicholases, the women are 99% of the ones, like you said,
the
that are,
progressive churches and stuff. Yeah.
that are causing all the.
Yeah, also at pride parades and stuff, they're the number one allies, number one
Yeah.
advocates. It's like, dude, sit down and shut up.
Exactly.
You know, there is some grace to learning that to sit down and shut up. And it's
There
like,
is.
It brings me more peace when I'm actually able to do it. It's difficult to do, but I see the value in it, you know?
Yes.
And like when I deal with people outside, I mean, it's like I said, unless I'm like passionate about their health and well-being, I don't say anything. It's
Yeah.
like you do you.
It's
do
like,
whatever
do
you're gonna
you,
do.
let you
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, unlike a lot of the preachers that I listen to, a lot of them go and they preach about it because, well, that's what they're supposed to do. It's like you're supposed to spread the word. According to the Christian
Yeah,
faith,
you're supposed to be saved.
you know, you're supposed to go forth and go to the areas they most sin
Yeah, right.
and try
Try to
and help
save them.
somebody.
Yeah, that's a uniquely Christian thing to do.
Yeah.
You're not really going to find that in any other religion.
Exactly.
Or spiritual following. It's like you do you. I'm going to sit here. If you come to me, I'll help you out. Otherwise,
Yes.
hell no.
Exactly.
But if I'm passionate about your health and well-being, then yeah, I'm going to say something.
Of course, because you can't just sit by. It's like, okay, a lot of the preachers use this same analogy. And it's, would you, like, if you had a kid, would you let that kid run out in the middle of the road, not say anything, and let him enjoy the time of doing that, and then get hit by a car?
Yeah, if it would make him happy and he was living his best life,
Yeah.
and you didn't want to upset him, you know, as long as he's happy, that's the main thing, right?
Exactly. And it's like, of course not. Of course you're not going to watch this kid
Because you know better.
go, yeah, you know, if he runs out in that road, he can get hit and die.
Yeah.
And that's not living your best no matter what. The kid might think it is, and the kid might like doing that. But you as an adult know better.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what those preachers are doing when it comes to other people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other people are the kids, and they think that, well, yeah, you know, my life's great. My life's this.
Right.
My life's no.
But they can see around the corner and they know where you're headed.
Exactly.
And it does resonate with some of them. It does because if you were living your best life and nothing bothered you, it wouldn't bother you.
That's the number one thing that I hear you say and that we
Yeah.
talk about. It's like,
Yeah.
why does it bother these people so much?
Yeah.
Because deep down, they know it's wrong.
They try to hide behind the fact, well, you know, I'm championing for other people. People don't want to hear this. People want to have a good time
Yeah.
today. This is not the right place for that. They hide behind that. But it's like, it's you. It's you. You're not liking this. Why are you
Exactly.
like, you know something's wrong in your life. You just
Yeah.
know it. And that's why you came over. So it's like, I think they do hook some people that way. They do kind of set them on
Of
the right
course.
path and everything. But it's like I said, it's a very uniquely Christian thing to do. And it's very admirable.
It is, yes, and especially with Nicholas, who can stay
so composed,
and
Yes.
so well collected. I have to give a shout out to him. You know, we always try to go over his content too. I'm still waiting for that Mardi Gras Part 2 and 3 to come out. As soon as that does, we'll be trying to get content for that.
Yeah, particularly if he does it at night because
Yeah.
it's always so crazy.
Yes, very much so.
But it's like for the most part, when I've seen true religions, true like people that are into spiritual practices and they're completely in alignment with that and tuned in with that, they don't pay the street features any mind.
No, they don't.
I never did. I
No.
was like, I was sure of my convictions,
Exactly.
and you just, you know,
Yes,
you ignore them.
that's exactly right. You do.
Same time, you're adults. Like, I don't know if women expect like a free pass. It's like, oh, all right then. You know, let's not hold you accountable. No, we're gonna hold you accountable. Just stop getting influenced by freaking feminism, which is the worst thing that has happened to humanity ever since Satan. Stop sleeping around with multiple men. It's not like you haven't been provided with information, you know? It's not like you were talking about these women. You were probably born in a Christian country or religious country, you know, that has like some sort of morals. You know, the reason why these women want to hide their past is because they know that they are dirty 304s. They know it. They just don't want to, be held to that standard. They don't want to follow the rules. But they know, right? So, again, I sort of understand it. Just like most people who are rich, due to having so much money, they become more superficial. Yeah, the same thing happens at a human level in both women and men. Mostly women, but it also happens to men and chads. But yeah, just stop following this bullshit, man. If these women, guys, had any sort of principles, they wouldn't be in their car crying. Okay? If they followed, not only religion, but I don't know, just make your dad proud. All right? Just try to make your dad proud, and you probably wouldn't be in your car crying. But these women, guys, again, don't have any sort of morals or standards or principles that they abide by. They don't want to follow the rules. They want to, like vultures, be extremely opportunistic. They see all the attention that they have. And instead of saying, oh, well, I have 1,000 men interested in me, let me get a nice relationship that will eventually grow into a happy family, they say, oh, no, let me get 100 free meals and 50 bananas rammed through my legs. That's what they say. And then they complain about the consequences. But gentlemen, let's move on to our article stories. We have two from men, so you see that men also suffer in dating. The first one being, is emotional monogamy just not a thing in modern dating? 32 male, recently divorced and back in the dating world. I'm honestly trying to figure out how all of this works, but it's giving me so much anxiety. I guess I had a pretty sheltered experience in that my ex and I were exclusively talking even before we started dating. Wow. The people in the past, guys, used to be exclusive when dating each other without the need to sign a contract. I think this was the time around the dinosaurs. Long gone are the days, right? Is it normal for people to be talking to multiple people at once? It'll never be normal. It's degenerate. But yeah, that's what they do now. Do I have to do that too? If you want to succeed, yes. It just feels like it will make it so much harder to form a real deep connection with someone. Oh, you think so? Maybe I'm wrong, but the idea of juggling emotions like that feels really overwhelming. I'm someone who wants a genuine, meaningful bond, but this whole thing is honestly making me feel like I'm doomed to die alone. Anyone else feeling this way or have advice? We'll move on to the advice a bit later. Everyone is in the same boat. If you're someone who wants a genuine, meaningful bond, I will suggest you to create a time machine and travel like 2 centuries back. It's over, dude. It's over. It's beyond saving the situation. there's no genuine bond for you. Okay, just don't play the game and stop dating. Or if you want to play the game, you have to play it according to the rules that mostly women set. Okay, I'm gonna blame them a little bit. Oh, Hidan isn't that convenient. You blame women because you're a man. No, I blame women because if men, if it depended on men, okay, we'll probably be all in relationships without no fault divorce, without juggling like 15 options in our.
Yes, I have to agree with him on that. It's like the guys, they don't, there are some that the divorce is started by the guy, but what did we come up with the conclusion? It was like women hold like what?
Okay, so I've heard varying degrees of it, but it's between 70 and like 80% are initiated by women. And then it jumps up to something like 93% if the woman has a college education that initiates the divorce.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, college
93%.
educated, meaning the boss bees,
Yeah.
the ones that think that they're doing it all right, and it's like, well, I gotta provide for my family because they're taking that job away from the guys. The guy's supposed to be the one that does that.
Yeah, the woman is not supposed to make more money than the man in the relationship.
No.
It just doesn't work. It just, maybe there's some rare circumstances in which it can work, but just never anything that I've seen with actual happy functional relationships without having to have a therapist, without having to be on some sort of drugs,
Exactly.
It just, it doesn't work out. So like one of the classic examples that we watch is on Teen Mom 2 is Caitlyn.
Oh yeah, Caitlin's bad.
And she is the quintessential boss bee. It's like she can't she can't relax into her feminine. She thinks she has to make the money, she has to make a mark, she has to earn this, she can't because her mother was an alcoholic, I guess.
Yeah, her mother was, and she didn't have a father.
She didn't have a father. So it was that same kind of thing where she had to be the mature one.
And work and support everybody.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm not.
And that is so wrong for the kid to be forced into that type of position.
Yeah, I mean, she just had babies, and she ends up putting him in like daycare and stuff, so she can go back to work. And it's
exactly,
like,
and
no, you're not supposed to outsource your maternal like instincts to a stranger.
Exactly, you're not.
Like I said, it's probably going to be rough around here for like the first couple of years, but that's like just a couple of years out of how many have we already been together?
Exactly, we've been together like what, 18?
20.
20, yeah.
Yeah, this past March. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And this April we've been here for 14 years.
Yes, we've been here for 14 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's like, it's been 20 wonderful years. I mean, we've had our ups and downs, we've had our twists and turns, but
we've had some extreme downs, and
but
like I was telling him today, I'm like, if I'm bitching at you guys for something, then that means that you're leveling up. It's like it's just another refinement. You've gotten to this point now. I know you can do this, and it's like I'm not ever asking for more.
No,
I'm
it's
not
just asking
for material things.
I know.
It's just, it's just what needs to be done. And you're obviously at that level that you can handle it.
Exactly.
And that's pretty crazy to think of from that.
That's very crazy, yes.
Considering where we started.
I know.
It's like I was making the money. I'm the one that bought the house. And, it was like I was the one in control of the relationship. I didn't trust you to do the taxes. I didn't trust you to do anything at all with the finances. And it just about killed me.
Yeah.
And
but especially, with your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But then it was like, I'll let you take over.
Yep.
What's the worst that could happen? It can't get any worse than this. And it was like a big fucking surprise.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it changed.
And I did not come from a religious household. My grandparents were not religious. I mean, they were at one point, but not when I knew them.
Yes.
My mother wasn't religious. She was very free spirited. None of this was modeled for me.
No.
And I still came back to it.
Yeah, and it's like, you talked about the whole religious thing. It's like, I was not raised in a religious house either. I mean, pretty much just, you could say it was Satanism for the lack of a better term because it was me.
Right.
With the households and with everything that I did. Right. But it's like, even I didn't really go to church. I went to church like once or twice when I was younger.
Yeah.
But it's like, I still knew
there's more.
That there was more,
Right.
and that something like that existed.
It's like you know you have a higher calling. You know
Yes.
that something's different about you. You know that you're like supposed to push yourself to be better, to be more refined. And
Exactly.
yeah, so it's like lawless paganism and instant hedonism, that didn't work for us.
No.
But this does. You know, we're
we
blessed way more this way.
we stretch and we read the Bible every morning.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's a different Bible. You know, it just depends. It's whatever.
Right.
Like right now, it's the Christian Bible, but
when that one's done, we'll move on to the Quran.
yes.
We should have started with the Torah, but
Yeah.
you know,
It's fine.
It is. And,
But you know, I read it. I read it for the family, for my son, and then for our youngest.
Mhm.
He gets to hear it too.
And it's like, you know, then we watch a lot of different mythological things or different religious things.
Amazing
on
stuff.
TV, you know, and at least once a day.
Yes.
And on Sunday we keep it holy and we make it only family.
Exactly. That's right.
No internet.
No. No, Sunday is no internet at all.
Yeah.
Really no gaming either.
No.
It's just family time. You know, we have our board game that we play.
Right.
But that's it.
Yeah. We get a chance to just kind of decompress from everything, from the week and everything, because it's a hard life.
Yeah, it is.
But it's worth it.
I mean, especially when summer comes. We get super busy.
Yeah. Very little gaming time then.
Yeah.
In our hands, you know. But that's if it depended on us. It doesn't. Spoiler. It depends on women, and we see where that has taken us. So that's why I blame women, right? Again, if you don't want to be alone for the rest of your life and probably die alone, if God himself doesn't want to drop from the sky the last remaining good woman on earth, you have to play the game by their rules. That means juggling emotions, playing with women, lying to them, manipulating them, you know. And if you're attractive enough, you'll get them into bed and you'll play with their emotions. And that's the only way to deal with women nowadays. Okay, if you're the nice guy that wants to take things slow, chances are you'll probably get your whole life destroyed. But now, guys, let's move on to the other one. Why is trying to get a girlfriend actually impossible? At age 19, I feel like I'm done. So, again, it's all ages, 18 to 50. It's all age, 8 to 4,000, guys. It's, I'm not finding any better luck myself. It's just impossible. Okay, stop trying. Now, I don't want to sound pessimistic. If you want to try, okay, but don't come crying later. You know, oh, he done, they tricked me.
Okay, it says, why is trying to get a girlfriend actually impossible? And it's not impossible. I mean, you could easily get a girlfriend. Now, somebody worth keeping, somebody worth
being a wife,
then that is almost impossible nowadays. But getting a girlfriend is actually pretty easy.
Yeah, provided you have enough money and
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of women will do pretty much anything for money.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It's
And
very.
it was even written about in the Bible. You know, there's, I think the name Sarah, is the one that's like, you know, persuaded by material things.
Yes,
You know? So
yes.
it's like it's been around forever. You know.
Yeah, it has.
So it's a worldly life. And,
Yep.
yeah.
Women are so bad, I told you. It's always about a perseverance and working on yourself to no avail ever. It's actually so tiresome thinking about trying to date. Getting numbers is fine, but I must be some kind of woman repellent or something, man. I have had 4 girls ask for my info, and then every time it fizzles out, even when I'm setting crap up. So this guy is probably attractive enough. You know, 4 women have asked him. He's able to get all the women's numbers. I'm guessing a guy who's probably at least a 7, probably an 8, maybe a 9. You ask for advice, and then my posts always get deleted, or I can't get any help or engagement. It's always, you seem like a genuinely good guy, but then I can't do anything. Everything else in life is lining up well, but like, why is trying to get a girlfriend actually such a Herculean task?
That's actually really funny because that's like the friend zone. It's like the women, well, you're too nice of a guy.
Right.
So you're going to be a pansy, or, well, I want a bad boy. And it's like these women that don't know anything about what they want.
I know, and 20 years later, it's like, well, where are all
That-
the good guys?
And that's the one that they wanted, was the one that got away, that they friend zoned.
Again, like on Team Up with Healing, she had the second husband, Javi,
Yep.
who was like a genuine nice guy.
Oh, he was.
And then she did some horrible things to him, and he turned into a damn dog.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, that's what
made that
the modern
happen.
women will do.
Yes. And I mean, like, I wasn't looking for anything, but I still tried to kind of friend zone you. I didn't want anything to do with you that way. I didn't want to do
Yep.
with anybody, though, at all.
Yeah, I know.
But, you just didn't accept it.
Nope, I continued. And that's what I'll tell any guy out there. If there's somebody that you really want, do not accept it. Just be like, hey, I will be here.
Yep.
I will wait. I will stay, and however long it takes, it doesn't
and then
matter.
actually stick to that.
And stick to it. But still be their friend. Don't just be like, oh, well, I don't give a shit about you because you friend zoned me, or you did this, or you did that. No. Stick with them. Be that good friend. I mean, Nefer and I here, we had hallway philosophy, which was just us talking for hours on end by the heater during the wintertime.
And he was very self-assured because he was like, I would be like, no, I don't, I'm not looking for that. And he'll be like, well, you'll see one day.
Yep.
And so it's
I
like
knew.
you made the intention still clear without making it be like you were like stalking or,
Exactly. You just gotta know.
being jealous or anything like that. It was just steady confidence,
And trust me, I got jealous. I was able to not have things come off in a bad way.
It's so tiring seeing people pair up while doing less effort, and I feel like I'm gonna combust and she'll just completely stop trying because it's utterly impossible at this age. Am I just trying too hard, worrying too much? Is my desperateness or something? I'm at like 50, 60 attempts from maybe around junior year in high school. I'm cooked. So 50, 60 attempts, 0% success. And guys, I'll tell you why. Because yes, you are genuinely a good guy. Again, we're going back to the same point as before. You either stay alone, being a good guy, going to the gym, working on yourself, reading books, being intelligent, or if you want success with women, you have to treat them like shit. It's that simple. If you want to play the game, you have to play it according to their rules. Look at what women do, guys. They don't date the good man, okay? If women dated the good...
That's where I differ. I do not think that you have to treat them like shit, because if you have to treat them like shit to get their attention, then it's not a woman that any of you will want. If you are truly on the path to be a genuine guy, genuine man, have that family, have the faith, have it all, then you will not want a woman like that.
Yeah, well, that's what he's saying. He's like, if you were looking for that, he's like, you have to have a time machine to go back like 300 years.
Yeah.
Otherwise, pretty much the only way to get any women these days is to pretty much treat them like that. And so you have to still give up on that dream of having, like, I guess, a good lifelong partner in exchange for just that,
Or never give it up and just know that one day things will fall into place.
The world is rather large, and it's like if you're dead serious about it, you can always go to the most remote parts of the world and integrate to the culture.
Exactly.
And find yourself something that, resembles truth.
There's a lot in this world. Everybody has their place, no matter what they want to think.
Yeah. Passport bros, they started getting the
Yep.
ideas. Like there is a way around. You can have that still.
Yeah, you can.
You just maybe are looking in the wrong places.
You are for sure. You're looking in the Western civilization.
And if you do treat them like shit and you are acting like a dog and you're sleeping around with a bunch of people, then that's only going to come back to eat you alive anyway.
Yes.
The demonic and spiritual entities that come with it and energies.
Exactly.
They're gonna ruin your life,
That's exactly right.
good men, we will be living in a utopia right now, but they don't. They go for the bad boys, the unavailable men, the players, the frat boys, the men who are twice their age and only want an S3X doll, according to the last one we covered. Why is it that the last one we covered, let me go back to her real quick.
This is worse than 9.
Shut up. This one right here, okay? Why is it that every man she mentioned is some sort of bad boy? Well, it's because it's the only one she dates. And you might say, oh, Hiran, this is an extreme example. It is. It is an extreme example, but editor. But most women, guys, are like her, honestly. Because again, if the average woman were to date a good man, we wouldn't be in the place we are right now. Okay? But the thing is, that's what the average woman does. They don't care about principles. They don't care about you being a good man. You have to be an asshole or you have to be alone. Those are the two options. Now, for me, I've chosen being alone. I don't want to change my whole personality and worldview just to fit into these delusional women's ideal of a man, which happens to be very stupid. So that's that. Make your choice. But gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me and Ampu. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.
I love these guys. They have done so much. Again, congratulations to Dawn on that 20,000. It's amazing to watch you guys and how far you all have come. And thank you so much for all the content. It's given me a lot to go off of too. We're about to go on to Taylor the Fiend, who is the original starting member of the Fiend gang. And I just want to give a shout out to Sancho the Ghoul too. He's usually here in the live chat and stuff, but he might be working or whatever. But this would have been your stream to be on with who we're going over.
Yeah, he found us
through them.
Yeah, we had a comment on Hidon one of Hidon's talking about your channel, and, so.
And he found us through there. Mm-hmm. Been a big fan of ours ever since. So.
He brings a lot to the table too. That's a good information.
Yeah, he does, and he's had some really good content himself.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be funny if one day he became a Fiend member.
I know.
I think he would be good for it. I do.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get on with Taylor and see what he has for us.
I cannot stress this enough. Men are not worth settling for in any circumstance, any way, shape, or form. It's not worth it. Like, we're so indoctrinated to believe that, like, we have to get married. We have to, like, aspire to, like, having a relationship, having a man in our lives. Like, the goal shouldn't be to get married. The goal should be to be happy. So if a man in your life is not making your life better, easier, happier, more enjoyable, like, there's no reason he should be in your life. At least when men settle for a partner, they get like a personal assistant, a house manager, a nanny, a chef, a therapist. What do women get when we settle for a man that treats us like less than the way that we want to be treated? We get emotionally, physically, mentally drained.
I have never in my life ever seen a man describe getting into a relationship with a woman as settling, quote unquote settling. This is a term that modern day women love to use, guys, because they're complete psychos and they like to think that if they get with a man who doesn't get them flowers every day or he doesn't make enough money, then that's somehow settling. Truthfully, women also use this.
Okay, the flower thing, I do that for my wife a lot. Because flowers are, they're free, you can just pick them on your way home and just show that how much you love by what you bring.
Not if they live in the city. You
There-
can't just
there's
go walking down the street and like pick something out of somebody's cart, and be like, "This is," yeah.
well, I mean, but there's still flowers in the city. There's still sidewalks. There's
You
still
want to pick those?
you can.
Because everybody would be like doing that.
You still could. Or go to the country and find some.
I don't want anybody to get arrested because of our ideas.
No.
So we live in a different kind of situation.
Or go to the country and pick them. Just don't pick if you're in California, just don't pick the California poppy.
Yes, that's illegal.
That you will get in trouble for.
But yeah, it is. It's like a love language,
Yeah.
I could put them on all of my altars, and I have them all up here on the bed. And
Exactly.
I put them into decorative things, and I even have one of the first flowers that you gave me when we went to.
Yeah, it's in one of the books.
Yeah, to what was it? Pismo?
Pismo.
Pismo Beach.
Yes, Pismo.
And there was this pretty flower plant there, and we weren't even married yet.
I know.
And then I still have that.
Yes. Amazing.
This term when they're describing dudes who don't want to have relationships with them, which I find to be absolutely hilarious as well. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about modern women never settling. Okay, I'm a huge advocate, actually, guys. I'm a huge womanist over here. I believe that women should never settle. And the reason for that is because I get more videos if they never settle and if they're 30 plus years of age and they start to collect cats instead. So let's jump into this video here. Haven't seen the videos. Let's take a listen to what some of these women have to say. This is the big sister advice that you needed to hear. Let's jump in.
It's advice that you don't want to hear, but you need to. I say this from a place of love, and I wish I had this advice when I was young. Actually, I did. It was my mom. And I also know you don't want to hear it because I didn't want to hear it. But my mom was my saving grace. And had she not given me the advice that she gave me, and had I not listened, my life would look very different today in a really, really bad way. My mom explained it like this, and I'm going to explain it to you. You're like a diamond. So you don't just hand over a diamond to just anybody. They have to be able to afford the worth of that diamond.
Oh my goodness. Okay, she says here, I don't mean
What was she saying about that?
Yes.
I lost it on that.
Well, maybe we should watch it again.
Yeah, we need to because I gotta see what she said about that.
Because it sounds like like what I was talking about earlier about women thinking that they're diamonds.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, what did I say about that earlier, though? It's like
Exactly.
It depends on how refined you are.
And the pressure you're under.
And had I not listened, my life would look very different today in a really, really bad way. My mom explained it like this, and I'm going to explain it to you. You're like a diamond. So you don't just hand over a diamond to just anybody. They have to be able to afford the worth of that diamond.
Oh my goodness. Okay, she.
But yeah, that totally fits into what you were saying earlier.
It's literally what I said earlier. But, like, the women think that they're diamonds. I'm like, yeah, but if you are uncut and raw and unpolished and not shaped, then what worth are you?
Exactly.
And you can only become those things and become worth it and something that's, like I said, a symbol of fidelity and something that lasts.
Exactly.
If you're properly cut, polished.
But 90% of those women are none of that.
No.
They're this unbridled, just straight out of the ground diamonds.
Yeah.
Still in the coal.
Yeah. Well, I wish I had the whole TikTok thing that I made because it was like, why are men always subjected to having to learn how to treat a woman and be these things, have a bunch of money, but women don't have to do anything. We're just supposedly born perfect and nothing needs to change.
But they do.
But they do. Why is it any different? Why should we not learn how to be pleasing? Why should we not learn how to bring value to a household? You can always add to that more if you want to later. But why, as a basic level of training should we not have to do those things? You know,
You should.
I mean, to be worthy of a relationship.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it's rare that any of us are here, like at all, but that goes for men and women. What are the odds that humans even exist?
Exactly.
You know?
And you're gonna do something with that clip later, right? We'll do like
it's a TikTok.
the TikTok, yeah.
I can
we can do like a short. We can do a.
Yeah, I can move it over to a short. I'll put it in my shorts. But yeah, it's like you have to refine yourself. You know?
You do.
And like you were saying, putting pressure, being built under pressure makes it a stronger diamond too.
It does.
And so that applies more, I feel, to like men. The more pressure you apply to them.
Yes, that is more of a thing for men.
And that's how they get their value.
Yes.
But we definitely have to be refined. You can't just.
Well, everybody should. And
yeah. Even
you can say, "Oh, well, I don't have to. I don't," but you should want to.
Right. I mean, even if it isn't for anybody else, it's
yes.
Like you should try
exactly.
to see you can be the best version of yourself, be pleasing to the gods.
Yes.
I don't know if the Christians have anything like that, but for us, you must be pleasing to the gods.
Yes, exactly.
We're a divine representative. So, like, whatever we want to represent to them, we show to others here.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
But they just kind of want to continue being uncultured and wild and,
Well, it's because they want to listen to the mass hysteria that's going around right now, and just go off of that.
Yeah, just being wild, free. You're enough. You're valid. All of this.
And the body count.
Oh my God.
The more, the better.
Yeah.
In their eyes.
It's gluttony and lust and everything all rolled into one.
Exactly.
She says here, I don't mean afford in a material sense. So let's see if she saves it.
The higher quality person you are, the higher the stakes. But the thing is, a lot of young women, especially the ones that are dating, know deep down in their heart that the man that they're with is beneath them, isn't treating them right. But there's this overwhelming fear of, if I let go, then what? Or he's all you've ever known. And the fear of being alone outweighs being treated poorly.
So this is a whole big thing, right? About how you think that you're above the men that you date. So you should ditch them and you should go out there and you should find a better man because you're a diamond. These women are so incredibly narcissistic. It's absolutely hilarious to me, man. It really is. You're a diamond. You should ditch your husband. You should ditch your boyfriend because you're worth so much more. And, women do this and they listen to this advice, despite what this woman says, and they cycle through men like absolutely nothing, guys.
What's up?
So this is a letter to my note to my future editor self. Okay, so in this slot, I want to put the clip from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and it says, "They say a diamond is forever, but we say a diamond is for everyone."
I love it. I love it.
Because that's how she's acting.
Yes.
They throw away men. They think that they're disposable. They think that they can always trade it in for a quote unquote better option. And they do this until they're like 35 years of age and they've wasted, a couple decades of their life going from boyfriend to boyfriend. Women will be over 40 doing this nonsense. Okay. Oh, he's beneath me. Let me go out there and find another man. Can you imagine, by the way, if men thought like this? If men acted like this, you would literally have no relationships left. Again, I want to stress what I said at the beginning of the video. I've never heard a man word stuff like this. Oh, I was dating this woman, but you know what I realized, guys? I realized that I'm a diamond and she's beneath me, so I dumped her because I deserved better. Like, what?
As he said, you do not hear guys say this, because if a guy said it, that would be toxic masculinity at its finest, according to these women, and I can just see it.
I agree.
But yeah, these women say it, and it's like, well, you better not say it's anything. because it's just us living our best.
Right. Yeah, you see it a lot in the Facebook groups and everything. So
Yes.
it's like, I don't know, like, even with some of the things that I don't know, it gets me. It was like, even in some of the mom groups talking about, like, something as simple as breastfeeding and whether or not it should be done in public or private turns into a whole thing with women.
Yes.
And that's women against women. So
I
it's
know.
like,
So imagine
yeah,
anything else, women versus men, or
it's way worse. And it's like I'm privy to see all this because they seem to think that I want to be recommended that crap.
Yep.
And it's like, know your worth. You know, you're worth so much more than that. And it's like, yeah, you do need to know your worth, but you need to know what you bring to the table, what he brings to the table. You know,
Exactly.
be
You do.
informed all the way around.
You really do.
So you need to take like accountability and an inventory of your own shortcomings
Yes.
as well.
You do. Hold on. Go ahead again.
They also say, you know, it's like, but it's not my fault. Don't blame me. It's just because of X, Y, or Z that I reacted this way, and that's okay.
Exactly, they do.
I'm healing.
I know.
But you're not.
No.
Yeah. Sad.
It's very sad.
What kind of narcissistic thinking is this, man?
And not even getting the bare minimum. But the fear of being alone should not stop you from looking for somebody who knows your worth. You shouldn't be sitting on the floor crying every other night. That's not normal. You shouldn't be made to feel guilty for wanting to hang out with your friends. You shouldn't be made to feel like you're not beautiful. Now imagine if you gave a diamond to somebody who just doesn't understand the worth of a diamond. They're not going to be able to take care of that diamond.
Okay, so let's read between the lines here. She's crying on the floor because the dude that she's seeing won't let her hang out with her friends. That's what's being put forward here. So basically, the man, here's what I
Yeah, so basically, is what she's saying is that she wants to be selfish, go play with her friends, screw the guy even though she wants the guy, but he has to be on the back burner and not interfere with her.
Right. No sacrifices made.
None.
No struggles to be had.
Exactly.
No, there's always a price.
Yes,
You know, so
there is.
You have to choose.
Yes.
what I'm reading between the lines, guys. This woman is a club girl and she's dating Chads. And a couple of the Chads have said, you know what, we can have a relationship, but you have to stop going out there and being a 304. And then so she sits on the floor and she cries about it. Okay, if you read behind all of this nonsense, guys, what it really is women who are dating dudes who are not interested in having relationships with them, usually because they're for the streets. Okay, and the dudes, you know, they realize that you can't weed that behavior out of these women. It's too late. You know, if a woman's out here, she's clubbing on the weekends with her friends, you might as well just call it a wrap right there. Like it's not even funny, man. It's completely over by this point. Okay, these women will try and act like they're the victims in the videos, that the men are controlling, that the men are making them cry. But the truth of the matter is the men don't want to commit to them. And also the women cry when they're told no. When the men have a boundary and they say, you know what, I'm not going to accept this behavior from the woman, then she'll start crying and breaking down and talking about how he's controlling and she's a victim and so on.
And in the same way, when you give yourself to a low quality man, he just doesn't understand your worth. So it's in your hands to want better for yourself. Or you think to yourself, I've already invested this many years into him, so then I need to just follow through with marriage. That's probably the dumbest thing you can do. What makes you think that if your relationship while dating is miserable, that getting married to him is somehow going to make it better? It's not.
It's probably the first sensible thing that this woman has said in this video.
And for my young sisters out there, put down the fixer-upper boys. Ask yourself this question. If you went into a luxury shop, would you pick up a handbag that was dinged, stitches coming out, and think to yourself, oh, it's all good. I'll take it home and I'll just fix it up? No, you wouldn't. So don't do that with a man.
Okay, go ahead.
So you guys get to be handbags and we get to be diamonds then?
Yeah.
But you guys are just stitched up as old raggedy handbags.
Yeah, and it's like she's
If you
saying,
hold my shit, then I don't care.
but she's saying that, and she doesn't speak for every woman.
No, hell
There are
no.
some women that would want that bag,
Like I said,
regardless
as long
of
as you can hold my shit, it's
the condition.
probably a lot cheaper too.
Yeah, I bet you it is. Exactly right.
You know, and yeah, you can take it home and add some cool stuff to it and make it look neat and make it
Yes.
the way that you want it to be. You can, it's possible. So that's a really stupid analogy.
It's very stupid.
And either.
What is this woman's obsession with like high end stores and diamonds and all of these things? It's such nonsense. Okay, so don't choose a man who's not at the finish line. You want the finished product. You want the guy who's worth a lot of money. Okay, you want the guy who's already made it. This is the classic behavior of modern day women, guys, is they wait at the finish line for the dudes. You know, they want the guys who have already made it, who are already attractive, who already have a bunch of years, you know, being in the gym and dieting. They've got the good physique. They want the guy who's already spent the years, decades, even making a lot of money. They don't want the guy who's currently working on himself. They don't want the guy who's halfway there. Okay. They want the guy who's already made it. And what do the men who have already made it get in return? You get a psycho woman on TikTok. Now, to me, this doesn't seem like a great trade.
It is not your responsibility to be fixing that man and hoping that he'll become what it is that you want. Leave him on the shelf, okay? He is in the discard pile. Broken goods. Get yourself a high quality man. One that you do not have to explain your worth to. You're welcome.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my god. So, narcissism and, like, you know, materialism aside, yeah, again, like I said, know your worth. But the problem is those men that they're waiting for,
Yes.
you know, they've spent probably until the age of 30-something to get to the point that they need to get to.
Yes, they have.
To be the right match for them. And so that means that they too are in their late 30s, early 40s.
Yes.
And their value, I mean, not saying that beauty is inherently a value, but you know, like their attract.
Well, I mean, it can be.
Their currency.
Yes.
Is like much more diminished now.
Oh, by far.
You know, so it's like you have to kind of get with them when the guys are in the ugly duckly stage and you're at your best, you know.
Well, yeah, and that's like what you're saying. I mean, that's why women should be starting younger.
Yes, you know, and build with a person. I mean, you just have to.
Yes.
You know, it's like you have to be that inspiration, that encouragement, because it will pay off for you in the end.
Well, it's like we were watching Matt Walsh's segment today, and you were telling me about the whole women in their 40s who are picking up the slack right now.
Especially when it comes to childbirth.
Yes.
Yeah, because so many of the women that are at viable age, you know, the perfect age between 22 and 25 years old to have children, they're not financially ready.
Exactly.
Their mental health is in the dumps. And so those two things are now being picked up by 30 to 40-year-olds who have financial security or at least a better understanding of it. And their mental health is probably the best that it's ever going to be.
Exactly, but they've got higher risk of carrying that baby too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, that's if you live in the city and you have regular hospital and prenatal care, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Like if you're one of the lucky few that are part of like the wild birthing community, it seems to be there are a lot more older mothers there, you know. But
there are.
Like I said, you can't just think about the childbirth. You have to think about like the 20 years after that, and still being a viable enough grandparent.
Well, yeah.
You know, that's like
exactly. That's the biggest thing. I mean, you're looking at 60 years old with your grandchildren.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, you got to make sure that your body's going to hold up for all of those things because it's only right.
Exactly. That is the biggest key to take from that.
So it's like you really have to be one of the really healthy ones, and that's just not right. It's so lopsided.
It is.
It's like we should be able to now just have to worry about, you know, like most people should just be worrying about preparing to become grandparents.
Yes.
Not starting over, you know, and it's like happening a lot all over the place. A lot.
I mean, look at us. It's
know.
like we have a most now.
Yeah, and it didn't wait. You know, whatever's out there that balances the universe did not wait.
No.
It's like, oh, open slot, you know, server's open, let's go.
And it jumped in, and here we are, which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, I am as well. It's like, it's an amazing experience. It's just really lopsided.
Yes, it is.
That where a majority of people that are looking to expand families are like 30 or 40 years old.
Yes, that's very true.
Where it used to be like, you know, 20 to 30.
I know. I mean,
like, you can go to school. I would be totally fine going to school or going to college or doing any of those sorts of things right now. That'd be like, it's a really good age for that.
oh, it is. It's such a good age for all of that. And that's why these women should not be thinking about their career first.
Right.
They should be childbearing.
There's like plenty of, you know, like things to do afterwards.
Yes,
you know,
there is.
You know, I think I was 22 when I had our first.
Yes.
And so if it wasn't for this one being born, then we would be free and clear in 4 years. I mean, that's still
Exactly.
way more than enough time. And I mean, he's been a teenager now for a couple of years, and so I could have already been in school and doing stuff if I had.
You could have, yeah, for sure.
So I could be almost halfway done with a 4-year at this point.
Yes.
It's ridiculous, and then that leaves like another 20 to 30 years to have a career.
It's truly amazing, isn't it?
Why are they pushing you to do it? So, you know, that stuff's.
You know, the freezing of the eggs.
Yeah.
You know, because there's something more with that.
Yeah, they're
wanting something.
They're trying to make the populations that they do have, like, much more controllable.
Yes, they are.
You know? So it's like, yeah,
And it's working.
You know, it is. It's gonna be transhumanism all over again. You know.
It will be, yes.
But, yeah.
All right, let's watch the last one.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aristotle, for the video. You know, guys, can I get a round of applause for dating advice for women? You know, never settle. Choose a man who's already at the finish line. Know your worth. You're a diamond. Did I miss anything, guys? I don't know. I'm kind of throwing up in my mouth. We might call it there. Guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.
And that is Taylor. We have watched all 3 of the Fiend gang now. He's got a second channel, but that's all I'm doing for tonight because we got other stuff to do, at least for a short period of time. And I really appreciate all you out there watching. You know, if you're just watching for a short period, whatever it is, namaste. I thank you so much. And yeah, I love doing this, and I'll be back with Friday. We've got more coming.
Yep.
So
Don't know what yet.
no, we don't, but we'll figure it out. So wait, let me do my closing.
Is it muted?
No. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you like the content you want to see more. Ring that notification bell if you want to make sure you do not miss one single content. I throw out at least 2 to 3 shorts a day, and we've got a lot planned coming up here. So please stick around. Please like our other videos. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm live twice a week too.
I'm live twice a week too. Wednesdays for Woke Wednesdays like we did, and then Friday for Factual Fridays, and sometimes Thursday for Theological Thursdays. So you never know. Just keep track, keep coming. We'll post what we're doing as we go about it.
Have a good night, everybody.
Namaste, ladies and gentlemen.